Hi designers, you're welcome back. So today I'm going to be sharing with you the easiest way to cut and sew this peplum wrap top with the balloon sleeve you see here. It is very simple, detailed and beginner friendly. So if this looks like what you're interested in, please keep on watching. And if this is your first time on this channel, please click on the subscribe button and also don't forget to like, share and drop a comment. So for this tutorial, I'm going to be using this flower crepe fabric you see here, and here I have 1.5 yard of the fabric. I'll be using this for my tutorial. So if you want a flare, that is you want to cut out a full flare or a half flare, you can go ahead to use 2 yards. But here I pleated the flare to the peplum and I'll be drafting directly on my fabrics. So I'm going to be cutting the back of the blouse first. So because it's a wrap top, I'll not be fixing a zipper allowance. But if you're attaching this to a gown, you need to add the zipper allowance to the center back. But because I'm making a wrap top, I'll not be adding a zipper allowance to the center back of the blouse I'm making. So here I'm gonna head to fold my fabric into two. So when folding, you'll be folding using your bust divided by 4 plus your sewing allowance. So that was what I used in folding my fabric here. So this is me trying to adjust it to fit into my bust divided by 4 plus sewing allowance. So now I'm going to go ahead to start inserting my measurement. So first I'll go ahead to draw a straight line which is going to be serving as the shoulder line. After inserting it, I'll go ahead to insert my shoulder measurement divided by 2 and mark. Then I'll come down by 1 inch for the shoulder slope, after which I'll insert the armhole depth. So my armhole depth is 8 inch. I'll go ahead to mark that. Next, I'll go ahead to draw the armhole depth line with my ruler like you see me doing in the video. I'm going to go ahead to insert my vertical measurement. So I'll just go ahead to insert my shoulder to half length and mark. After marking that, I'll draw a straight horizontal line at the point I just marked like this. So next, I'll be inserting my body circumference measurement. So on the chest line, I'll mark my bust measurement divided by 4 plus 1 inch sewing allowance. And on the waistline, I'll go ahead to insert my waist measurement divided by 4 plus the sewing allowance. So I'm not adding a dart to this back because it's a stretchy fabric. But if you want a dart to be added to yours, go ahead to insert your dart allowance also. Next, I'll connect the chest line to the waist with my ruler like this, after which I'll draw the back armhole. So next I'll move over to the neckline to draw the neckline. For the neck width, I went ahead to mark a neck width of 3.5 inch and a neck depth of 1.5 inch. So if you want to style this blouse with the back, go ahead to mark a neck depth of 3 inch also, so that it will be easier for you to style using the front and the back. After that, I went ahead to draw a simple round neckline like this, after which I went ahead to draw the shoulder slope like this. So basically this is what the back of the blouse is going to look like. The next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to pin it down so it doesn't move while cutting. And also before cutting, make sure you add your sewing allowance to the shoulder area so you don't have any form of shortage after sewing the blouse. So after cutting, this is what the back is going to look like. Next, I'm going to go ahead to cut out the front of the blouse we are making. So for the front, I'll go ahead to fold my fabric into two again like you see me doing in the video. So when folding this time around, make sure you're folding using your bust divided by 2 or using your waist divided by 2 because of the wrap effect we have at the front. So here I went ahead to fold using my waist measurement divided by 2, or what I use in folding this part of the blouse. So after folding it, the next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to mark quarter of my waist measurement minus 1. So my waist measurement divided by 4 is 9 inch minus 1 is 8 inch. So I'm going to go ahead to mark the 8 inch at this point like you see me doing in the video. After marking, I'll connect the point together with a straight line. So next I'm going to go ahead to place the back block on this line I just drew like you see me doing in the video. After placing it, I'll go ahead to insert the neck depth. So for the neck depth, you can decide how deep you want your neck to be. But for me, I'm going to go ahead to mark 7 inch as the neck depth. So I'll go ahead to place my triple on the shoulder line and I'll mark 7 inch as the neck depth. After marking the neck depth, next I'll go ahead to do is to extend this waistline all the way to this front like this. Then I'll be going up by 2 inch at this point. This 2 inch is the point where I'm going to be fixing the rope that I'll be using to tie the blouse and making. After doing that, I'm going to go ahead to mark the neck width on the back on the front because the neck width for the front and the back is the same thing. So I'm just going to go ahead to mark it like this. Once I'm done marking it, I'll connect the neck width To the neck depth I came down by on the center with my ruler, after which I'll go ahead to connect the neck depth to the 2 inch I came up by the side. So you can do this using the straight line, or you can do this using the curved part of your ruler. So after connecting, this is what you're going to be having. So the side and the armhole is going to be the same thing. What I'll go ahead to do now is to cut it out. So just watch what I'm doing and follow the same process. So after cutting, this is what the front block of the blouse is going to look like. The next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to notch the center of the blouse, which is this line I drew at this point. I'm going to go ahead to notch it like this. Then I'll open it up for you to see what it looks like. So when sewing your wrap top together, you're going to go ahead to place one on the other like this, making sure that the notch parts are meeting, as you can see, be displayed on the screen. And also, if you don't want the side to get to this point, instead of minusing 1 inch from quarter of your waist, you can go ahead to minus 2 or 3 inch, depending on where you want the wrap effect to be. So next, I'm going to go ahead to finish up the neckline of the wrap using my bias. I'm going to be doing this for the front and also for the back neckline. So I'll go ahead to do this, then I'll come back to show you what next. So after attaching my bias to the neckline, this is what it looks like. So here I have the back and here I have the front. This is what you should have after attaching your bias to the neckline. So the next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to arrange it like you see me doing in the video. After arranging it, I'm going to go ahead to join the front and the back together. So I'll place the back on the front like this, after which I'll go over to my sewing machine to join the shoulder areas together. After closing the shoulder area, I'm going to go ahead to close up the side. But when closing up the side, I'm going to be closing one of the side completely, and for the other side, I'm going to be leaving a little space on the side for passing the rope. So I'm going to go back to my sewing machine. You do this, and I'll come back to show you what next. So here I'm going ahead to join the front and the back together, and this is what I have after joining the front and the back together. And here I have the little space for passing the rope. So after sewing, I went ahead to stitch the allowance down, as you can see, so it doesn't pull out when the blouse is being worn. The next I'm going to go ahead to do now is cut out the flare for the peplum blouse. So for the flare, you can go ahead to cut out a full flare, a 720-degree flare, depending on how much fabric you want. But for me, what I went ahead to do was to cut out a straight fabric. Then I went ahead to pleat it on my blouse because I'm working with 1.5 yard of fabric, and the fabric could not be enough to cut out a full fleece. What I went ahead to do was to cut out a straight fabric, and the length of the fabric was times 3 of my waist measurement. After which I went ahead to use that to pleat my fabric. So this is me trying to cut out the straight fabric I'll be using for that. So here I went ahead to fold my fabric into two, and I'll fold it again to get the length I want. After that, I went ahead to cut it out like you see me doing in the video. So the length of the flare I'm making is 11 inch, and I went ahead to add 1 inch extra for the hemming allowance. So I'll go ahead to cut it out. So after cutting, I'll go ahead to join the straight fabric together. Then I'll be hemming one part of the fabric while the other part will be left the way it is. So I'll go over to my sewing machine to do this, and I'll come back to show you what next. So here I'm going ahead to fold the lower part of this fabric I cut out, and this is what it looks like. The next thing I'll go ahead to do now is to go back to my sewing machine to pleat this piece of fabric all the way around the waist. But before I go ahead to pleat this piece of fabric around the waist, I'm going to be inserting the rope for the wrap dress we are making. This rope will be used in tying the blouse. So here I have my rope. This is a band of 2 inch, so make sure you cut out 4 inch and fold into two to get the rope. So I'm going to be stitching it along this side. After sewing it, I'm going to be stitching the allowance on the fabric so it doesn't show when the dress is being worn. So you stitch first. After stitching, you fold the allowance towards the blouse and stitch. So once I'm done doing this, I'm going to go ahead to pleat my fabric all the way around the waist. So here I'm going ahead to pleat my flare to it, and this is what it looks like after pleating the flare. I also added the rope, and this is what it looks like. So after fixing the rope, I went ahead to fold the allowance backward, and I secured it so that the rough edge doesn't show. This is what you're going to be having. And the band was fixed on both sides. So there's a band here and there's a band on the other side. This one will pass through the hole we have on the side, and this is what it's going to look like. So next, I'm going to go ahead to cut out the sleeve I'll be attaching to the blouse. So here I have my fabric for the sleeve. I'm going to be cutting out a balloon sleeve, and I'll be cutting both sleeve at the same time. So here I'm going ahead to fold my fabric into two first. I'll go ahead to fold it into another two again because I'm cutting for both sleeve. So I'll be fixing an elastic at the hem of the sleeve, and I'll be pleating the upper part to the blouse. So I'll just go ahead to draw the armhole like you see me doing in the video. I'll be coming down by 4 inch on this side and mark. Then I'll just draw the armhole curve like this. So the sleeve is very simple. After doing that, I'm going to go ahead to cut it out. So the hem and the side is going to be the way it is. I'm going to be fixing an elastic to the hem of the sleeve. So after cutting, this is what your sleeve is going to look like. So I'm going to go over to my sewing machine to create the elastic casing on this side, after which I'll be fixing the elastic. And the length of the elastic you're going to go ahead to cut out should be at least -2 of your round arm measurement. So I'm just going to go ahead to place the elastic on my wrist like this to get the length of the elastic I'm going to be cutting out. So after doing this, what I got for the length of the elastic was 9 inch. I'm going to be cutting out two of this for both sleeves. I'll go ahead to cut it out. So I'm going to go over to my sewing machine to create the elastic casing, after which I'll insert the elastic into the elastic casing. Then I'll close up the side of the sleeve. So here I have the sleeve. After inserting the elastic into it, this is what the balloon sleeve is going to look like. So if you want it bigger, then go ahead to cut out a longer piece of fabric. The next I'm going to go ahead to quickly do now is to attach the sleeve to the blouse like this, and I'll do the same thing on the other side. After doing that, I'll come back to show you the final look of the blouse. So guys, this is what the blouse looked like after sewing. So go ahead to try yours and let me know about the outcome in the comment section. So if you find this video helpful, please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and drop a comment. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next tutorial.